Hello, I'm Linda Joy. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today, I will show you how I created this card featuring a Stencil Monoprint background using a stencil and distress inks. I made this card for the What We Do Best challenge on the Technique Junkies blog. As paper crafters, we have a unique opportunity to bring hope and encouragement to others during the current national and world crisis by using our skills to make and send uplifting cards. The theme this week for the challenge is Get Well cards. I'll leave a link to the post with the rules and the themes for each of the 4 weeks of the challenge in the description box below. I hope that you'll join us and participate in this fun challenge. So let's get to it. The stamp and stencil I used are available at the Technique Junkies store. You'll find all the products I used in this video listed below with links. Now, to create the background, I started with the leaf stencil. It's a skeleton leaf stencil from A Colorful Life and available at Technique Junkies. I used a water spritzer and some distress inks in the colors of Peeled Paint, Salty Ocean, Mowed Lawn, Evergreen Bough, Broken China, and Mermaid Lagoon. I also used a Misty in this video and my craft mat to protect my work surface. I'll list some other items that I used later on in the video. So for the process of the reverse stencil monogram thing, I applied my inks just one color at a time in different areas of the stencil. I have no rhyme or reason to where I'm putting the ink except that I'm trying to get a good balance of greens and blues. So I'm just dabbing them on, kind of twisting the mini ink pad a little bit to help it get onto the stencil. And I'm almost done. And now I'm going to clean off my craft mat, get my handy dandy little spritzer, and give this a couple of spritzes of water. Now you don't want this to be dripping water, and you don't want it to not have enough water, so this will show you about what it should look like, and I decided to give it a couple more spritzes. Again, not dripping off, but just enough so that it transfers nicely to your watercolor paper. Now I'm going to take some watercolor paper and I'm going to flip the stencil over onto the watercolor paper. Now I'm just placing it onto the watercolor paper and I'm taking a towel and just blotting and holding it down and giving a little bit of pressure on the top so that the ink transfers nicely to the paper from the stencil. Kind of just rubbing my fingers across the main parts just to make sure it's transferred. Now I'll gently lift it up. Since there's a little bit of ink left on the stencil, I thought, why waste it? I'll make another little piece for another project down the road. And this one I'm going to blot off to give it a lighter look. On this one, I'm not going to blot it off except some of the little puddles. And I'm going to set it or just dry it with my heat tool because I don't like to wait for things to dry. And now on to the butterfly portion of the video. I'm using this butterfly stamp from Technique Junkies. It's the Butterfly 3 stamp. My Misty and some Arteza real brush markers and a water mister. I love these Arteza markers because they are very, very juicy and their colors are very vibrant and brilliant, and they just go on and on. They just don't seem to ever run out. They have really intense color in them, and so what I'm doing here is putting on one color, misting it, stamping it, then putting on the next color and misting it and stamping it, and then the next color, etc. So I continue in this fashion, misting and stamping and misting and stamping and mixing the colors and blending them until I get the look that I'm going for here. So I have this sped up quite a bit because I'm a very, very slow stamper. I do things very methodically. I totally enjoy the process when I'm making a card. So that's it for this portion of the butterfly preparation. Now I'm just going to take some of the distress inks in similar colors, and using a brush applicator, I'm going to brush directly over the butterfly. I don't have to worry about staying in the lines because I'm going to be cutting this out. So I'm going over and covering the white. I could leave the white, but I chose for this particular card to cover it up. Between colors, I'm just wiping off my brush applicator. So then I take it out of the MISTI and I'm going to fussy cut it. And yes, I do wish I could fussy cut that quickly, but no. Again, sped up so that you don't have to spare you the boredom. So now it's always a good idea to cover the edges of your items when you fussy cut them or die cut them. It just gives it a more polished and finished look when you put it on your card. It's those little touches that go a long way. So now I'm taking some brushes. These are brushes by Clarity Stamp, and I'm going to brush on some Distress ink in Mowed Lawn and Evergreen Bough directly over the leaf that I had created. I thought it'd give it a nice finished look. Instead of having the white in the center, I chose to have a colorful background as well. And I'm just continuing on until I get the look that I want. And my kitty decided to make her debut here, and I edited most of her out. So now I added a Get Well verse, and that is from Technique Junkies as well. This portion is for the inside of the card, and this is the regular way to use a stencil is to just put the stencil down and brush the color through the stencil. So I chose to do this for the inside to carry the theme through to the inside of my card. And you can see the different look that gives from the other look when you use the stencil itself as the image. Again, I'm brushing the extra color on to soften the white. And this is the finished inside of the card. That wraps it up. I hope you'll join us in the Technic Junkies What We Do Best challenge. We'd love to see what you're creating. More importantly, your card just might be that special ray of light in someone's day, and it will brighten their day for sure when you send it. When you post your card to social media, be sure to tag us at hashtag WWDB and Technique Junkies. Please subscribe, like, and ring the bell so that you don't miss any future inspiration. I really do appreciate your watching. Thank you so much, and God bless.